as we are consumed by this huge crisis, possibly the biggest crisis this country has seen in the modern era, why are election safeguards for November important?
But when you look at the current political environment pre-COVID, we had an environment that was toxic with intolerance and racial hatred, and a president who would do anything necessary to stay in office. And so our ability to safeguard this nation's election is a priority. We recognize that there was interference by a foreign nation in 2016. We were able to overcome interference in 2018 with massive turnout. I think this year's turnout would also be a massive turnout. But now we have to balance between the public health reality we find ourselves in, along with a set of individuals who lack any scruples and would do all they could to subvert democracy and corrupt the election.
So already there are states that allow absentee ballots, right? It's possible to vote by mail if, for various reasons, one cannot actually physically go to the voting booth or one chooses not to. But I understand that it's sort of patchy state by state.
Our election is our state-by-state realities, and unfortunately, there is very little uniformity across states in terms of how elections are carried out, the openness of the elections, and so the states have created mechanisms where there is not equality across the board in how elections are carried out. Some states allow for early voting, other states only allow for voting 12 hours a day during the work week. Some states have no excuse mail-in or absentee voting. Some states have restrictive absentee voting provisions. Those are all factors we must address coming up in the November elections because there is so much at stake with this year's election.
Now, President Trump suggests that everyone's going to be able to go back to work starting in mid-April, April 12th by Easter. And so by November, there shouldn't be a problem with the coronavirus, right? What do you make of his claim?
I think it's unfortunate that the leader of this nation lacked any factual basis for much of what he does. It's all an emotional reaction based on what will make him look good or bad. We are advising our members, as I'm sure the broader community acknowledge, only to listen to the qualified medical professionals.